The grand hall of Veridax Prime shimmered with the light of 1,000 suns, filtered through crystalline walls that had witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Today, it hosted the Centennial Summit, a gathering of monarchs from every corner of the known galaxy. Kings, queens, emperors, and hive minds congregated in their finest regalia, their crowns blazing with the authority of bloodlines stretching back millennia. Asil stood near the entrance, her scanner clutched in both hands. As a junior security officer of the Galactic Concordat, this was her first major assignment. The device hummed softly, its purpose simple: verify each royal's genetic authentication and ensure no imposter breached the sacred assembly. One by one, the monarchs passed through. Beep. King Thalorum VII, Andromedan Dynasty. Verified. Beep. Empress Zixthara, Hive Sovereign of Kepler 442. Verified. Beep. Queen Valestra, Eternal Throne of Proxima. Verified. Each confirmation brought a surge of relief. Asil's supervisor, Commander Jorvik, watched from across the hall with his 4 eyes narrowed in perpetual suspicion. One mistake today could end her career before it truly began. The line continued. Crown after crown, bloodline after bloodline. The scanner never hesitated. Then he walked in. The human wore no crown, no ceremonial armor, no floating throne or attendant drones. He wore a simple dark jacket, the kind one might find in any space station bazaar, and his shoes, actual shoes, not anti-grav platforms, clicked softly against the marble floor. His hair was dark, slightly disheveled, and his eyes held the warm brown of Earth's long-dead forests. Asil almost waved him away, assuming he was lost, but protocol demanded she scan everyone who approached the entrance. "Sir, please step forward for verification," she said, keeping her voice professional. The human, Ferrat, according to the name, that appeared on his basic ID chip, smiled politely and stepped up to the scanner. Asil activated the device. The scanner's hum changed pitch. Then it stopped entirely. The display, which had shown nothing but green confirmations for the past 3 hours, suddenly blazed crimson. Text scrolled across the screen in the ancient, administrative language of the First Concordat. Critical anomaly detected, genetic marker, leadership potential, unprecedented classification, crownless king warning, subject possesses authority signature without royal bloodline paradox level, maximum Asil's. Breath caught. Her hands trembled. This wasn't possible. The scanner had been designed by the progenitor AI themselves, calibrated across 10,000 years to recognize the genetic markers of rulership. Traits that evolved in species designed to lead, to command, to bear the weight of crowns. But humans had no kings, not anymore. Earth's monarchies had crumbled centuries ago, long before they reached for the stars. "Is there a problem?" Ferrat asked, his voice carrying a hint of amusement. I don't understand," Asil stammered. She looked up at him, then back at the scanner. "Sir, are you royalty?" "Me?" Ferrat laughed, a genuine sound that seemed out of place among the pompous echoes of the grand hall. "No, I'm just a freight coordinator from Luna Station. I'm here to deliver some cargo manifests to the Concordat archives." "But the scanner," Asil's voice dropped to a whisper. "It says you're a king." Ferrat's smile faded slightly. He glanced at the device, then back at Asil. "That thing must be broken." Commander Jorvik's heavy footsteps approached. "Officer Asil, why is the line stopped?" His translator chip crackled with irritation. "Sir, the scanner. It's showing a classification I've never seen. It says this human is a crownless king." Jorvik's 4 eyes widened. All of them. He snatched the scanner from Asil's hands and stared at the display. His mandibles clicked in agitation, a sign of deep confusion in his species. "This is impossible," Jorvik muttered. He looked at Ferrat with something approaching fear. "Human, what is your bloodline? Who are your ancestors?" Ferrat shrugged. "My mom was a botanist. My dad worked in engine repair. Nothing fancy. No royal blood, no tribal chieftains, no warlords." Not that I know of. Farhat paused. Well, my great-great-grandmother was a union organizer back on Earth. Does that count? Jorvik made a strangled sound. He tapped several commands into the scanner, running deeper analysis protocols. The device whirred, hummed, and finally displayed a comprehensive report. Asil read over his shoulder, her eyes growing wider with each line. Leadership potential, 99.97th percentile. Crisis decision-making. Off-scale empathy index, 94th percentile, strategic thinking. 97th percentile, authority recognition by subordinates. 99. Second percentile. Conclusion, subject possesses natural leadership capabilities equivalent to or exceeding royal-bred monarchs. Genetic markers suggest evolutionary pressure toward collective decision-making, adaptability, and merit-based hierarchy rather than bloodline succession. This can't be right, Jorvik said, but his voice lacked conviction. He looked at Farhat with newfound wariness. You're saying humans just naturally develop this? I guess. Farhat seemed genuinely confused by the attention. Look, I'm really just here to drop off some paperwork. I'm supposed to meet someone from the archive division. Officer Asil, Jorvik said slowly. Let him through. But flag this in the report. The council will want to know. As Farhat walked past, Asil couldn't help but ask, Mr. Farhat, have you ever led anything? A team? A group? He paused, considering. Well, I organized the strike that got better working conditions for the dock workers last year, and I coach a youth soccer league on weekends. Why? Asil didn't answer. She just watched him disappear into the grand hall, walking among emperors and queens with the casual confidence of someone who had never questioned his right to be there. The scanner remained silent for a moment, then resumed its normal operations as the next royal approached. But Asil kept thinking about the readout, about humans, about a species that had somehow evolved leadership without crowns, authority without bloodlines, kings without thrones. Later that evening, when the summit concluded, Asil heard whispers from the assembled monarchs. They had noticed the human, they had asked questions, and when they learned what the scanner had detected, a strange unease had settled over the gathering. Because if humans could be kings without crowns, what did that say about those who needed crowns to rule? Commander Jorvik found Asil at her station, reviewing the day's logs. The council wants a full report on the human, he said quietly. They're concerned. Concerned about what, sir? Jorvik's mandibles clicked softly. That there might be more like him, an entire species of crownless kings. He paused. And what happens to those of us who wear crowns when we meet a people who never needed them? Asil looked at her scanner, still displaying that impossible classification. In the quiet of the empty hall, she thought about Farhat, about his easy smile, his casual confidence, his complete lack of understanding of what he represented. And she wondered if humanity had already won a game the rest of the galaxy didn't even know they were playing.